Hello, once again, this is Antonio, and this is probably one of the saddest cases that have done on this channel. Very, very sad. Watch at your own risk. Some of the testimony. I'll give you a little backlog. I won't go in full details. You see the title. You see exactly what I put there. Um, this man just enjoying the sell himself in Atlanta. You know, there was an after hour spot, according to him, in Atlanta called Heavenly Foods. He was at a food truck. Argument kicks off at the food truck. Somebody rang out gunfire. I wonder why when people conduct these gun shootouts, they never hit their target. They hit everything but. Really dummies, right? But everybody's so easy to get a gun. Oh, are you scrap? Nobody even go to the gun range. You are the target practice when you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. This young man, when the gunfire stopped ringing out, he became a Paul Revere. According to him, he started alerting people, trying to tell people, get down, this, that, and the third. But guess what? He was the one that was shot. And his life after being shot would never be the same. He's a father. He was engaged. Now he's impotent. Um, his wound is basically still open because where the bullet hit him. And the defendant, the owner of the business, is basically not even showing up to court. This man is left with over 200,000 in bills. Nobody's there for nobody's there for him. He lost everything. He had to tell his fiance to go by her business because guess what? He can't do nothing for her sexually. His self-esteem probably at the lowest it ever been. All because people want to have gunfire and you shooting everybody but the right person that you are angry with. And you shouldn't be shooting that person, right? But like I said, this is a very sad case. Look at your own risk. Please like, comment, subscribe. I put these videos out. Look at a lot of footage, and sometimes the videos are performing, not even getting 100 views. So the more people that like the video, you're telling me I'm doing something right. If I continuously get videos that people are not even looking at, then that tells me I shouldn't put that video out, right? But let's dive into the content, then we'll be back.
The civil trial calendar for a state court of Clayton County. I'm Judge Tammy Long Hayward. This is the 11 a.m. calendar for courtroom 304. And this is Nicholas Drake versus Chandra Chitara, Vu Tran Huang, Taste of Heavenly Foods, Sabita Incorporated, DBA Morel. I believe those parties were dismissed, versus Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company. All right, who's here on behalf of the plaintiff?
Judge Attorney Jason Carnell here on behalf of Nicholas Drake.
All right, anyone here on behalf of defendants?
It doesn't look like it, Judge.
All right, you may go ahead and present your case, sir.
Judge, would you like to hear anything about the procedural background of the case, sort of why we're here today under these circumstances?
If you wish to, that would be that you could go ahead and make the record.
Sure, Judge. First off, thank you for seeing us today on such short notice. What's been going on with the case is that Ms. Chitara Churn, the primary defendant in the case, the owner of the business All at Ats Event Hall and Taste of Heavenly Food, she did have a policy of liability coverage for her business, but that insurance company has failed to provide her with a defense in the case and has refused to pay any claim related to this incident. Ms. Churn was funding her own defense for a while. Unfortunately, she ran out of funds, was not able to continue to do that. As I'm sure you can see from the record, her attorney, Ms. Deshawn, had to ultimately withdraw from the case. On behalf of Mr. Drake, I entered into negotiations with Ms. Churn. I don't know if you've seen these types of agreements before, Judge, but they are agreements where Ms. Churn assigns her rights, any rights that she has against her insurance company, to Mr. Drake, agrees to withdraw her answer in exchange for our agreement that we will not pursue Ms. Churn's personal assets. So that agreement was reached. Ms. Churn withdrew her answer. You entered a default judgment against Ms. Churn, and obviously we're here today on the damages portion of the case. So I don't know if you've ever had that type of situation come up before, Judge, and I don't know if you've looked at the docket in the case to sort of see the history of what's going on with the case, but I just wanted to give you an idea of that's what's going on with the case, Judge.
Yeah, I've had something similar. I've had some similar cases, no problem. But essentially, it comes down to a default and a damages case.
Right, Judge. That's correct. So, as far as an opening statement goes, Judge, obviously the facts of the case that have been admitted are that Ms. Churn was operating a business that she referred to. It was a DBA, All Adats Event Hall, that was being operated at 1945 Moreland Avenue. April 28th, 2019, she has a shooting that takes place on her property. Someone is shot and hospitalized. So that's April 28th, 2019. Then on October 6th, 2019, there's another shooting at her business. And this is she sort of runs a, Judge, as an after hours club. It's technically the business license was for a like I said, an event hall, but it's kind of run as an after hours club. So when the other clubs shut down, this place would open up. So then, like I said, on October 6, 2019, there's another shooting. 3 individuals are shot and hospitalized on that date. And then we get to May 30th, 2020, which is when my client, Mr. Drake, goes to All Adats Event Hall as it's sort of a birthday party for a friend of his. They go from another place and then they go to All Adats. Miss Shatar Churn kept her food truck parked in the back of the business and would serve food to the patrons out of the food truck. A fight breaks out at the food truck, ostensibly between an employee who's on the food truck and a patron. And next thing you know, people start pulling guns. Mr. Drake takes off running out into the front parking lot. It's out in the front parking lot that he believes he was shot in the right buttock area. He starts running down Moreland Avenue to get away from the shooting. A friend of his who had gotten into his car picks him up on the road, takes him to the closest gas station. They realize on the way that Mr. Drake has been shot. And it was when they get to the gas station that they call EMS. Mr. Drake is taken by EMS to Grady Hospital, and he had to undergo emergency surgery in his abdomen because the bullet was still lodged inside of him, and it had actually pierced his colon in 2 places. And the acute trauma surgeon had to remove a section of his colon in order to save his life. Mr. Drake has over $200,000 in medical bills. He was in the hospital for weeks. What's really incredibly shocking about the surgery is they actually left him open, Judge, which is the first I've ever heard of this. They did not close the incision. It was a very
No,
large...
my mom just had gastric surgery, same thing. They left it open. Yeah, so I'm clear on that.
Okay. And I believe
if they have an infection and it expands, then it's just going to rip everything open. So they have to make sure there's no infection, so they leave it open.
I'm glad you're familiar with it, Judge, but yeah, that's what he had to go through. So he's going to be testifying as to what he went through, what he currently goes through, and I will also be playing the videotape deposition of the surgeon, so Your Honor, you can understand the procedure. Due to the procedural nature of the case, Judge, I'm actually only going to be asking for a verdict on count 1 of the complaint.
All right.
And unless, Your Honor, unless you have any more questions, I'll go ahead and I'll call Mr. Drake, because I think the Department of Corrections, they have somebody else that needs to get in behind us. So Mr. Drake.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Mr. Drake, can you hear me fine? Okay, raise your right hand for me. Unmute for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down, sir. Make yourself comfortable. Mr. Carnell, your witness.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Drake, can you state your name for the judge?
Nicholas Drake,
How old are you, Mr. Drake?
33,
Where were you born?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Were you raised in Atlanta, Georgia as well?
Born and raised.
Okay. Did you go to high school?
Yes.
Where'd you go to high school at?
I went to high school in Cobb County, Pepperbrook High School.
Did you graduate from high school?
No, I went and got my GED.
Okay. Did you do any college or trade school after high school?
Yes, I went to Interactive College of Technology for heating and air.
Okay. And did you get some type of diploma or certificate from Interactive College of Technology?
Yes, University Tech for heating and air.
Okay. And prior to this incident, did you work in heating and air?
Yes,
Okay. Where'd you work at?
I worked in apartments on Austell Road, 2050 Austell Road, called Elmer Grove, for a maintenance man.
Okay. So you were general maintenance there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any children, Mr. Drake?
Yes,
I'm sorry, how many children do you have?
3,
And what are their ages?
15, 11, and 9.
Okay. Are you married, Mr. Drake?
No,
Okay. Engaged, girlfriend, anything like that?
I was engaged.
To the mother of your children?
Yes,
Okay. Mr. Drake, let's go ahead and get into the facts of the case. On May 30th of 2020, did you happen to go to 1945 Moreland Avenue?
yes.
Okay. Approximately what time did you go there?
Around like 3:30, 4 o'clock a.m.
And what was your reason for going there? Why'd you go there?
We was out for a birthday party for a friend of mine.
Okay. And what was the name of the business that you guys went to?
All of that event hall / chill spot.
Okay. What did you knew it as Chill Spot, but it was also known as All At Event Hall?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And given how late you guys got there, were you coming from somewhere else? Were you coming from another establishment?
Yes, we was coming
Okay.
from Edgewood Avenue.
And was that place closing down, and that's why you went to All Adats?
Yes, it's a strip full of bars and everything was closing down.
So how long after you arrived at All Adats Event Hall, how long was it before the incident that we're here about today happened?
Maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Happened like around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
So 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning is when the incident happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And can you explain to the court, in your assessment, what sort of caused this whole incident to happen?
Went to the club, got there. Wasn't there that long. Went to go get some food, seen some people arguing, then the fight broke out. Tried to break it up. When I seen the dude jump out of a abandoned car with a gun, I ran back through the building, ran to the front. Everybody was running out the gates, running through the front, trying to get to my car. Once I got to my car, tried to round everybody up. A shooting took place, and I hit the ground. And I knew that's when I figured out, well, I felt the sting, but know what I mean, just being scared of my adrenaline rush, and I panicked just to get everybody down, and I took out running after I got everybody down and under the truck.
Well, Mr. Drake, let's back up for a second. You said something about breaking up a fight, and then somebody jumped out of an abandoned car and pulled out a gun.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so where was this abandoned car?
It's like on the outside of the club.
In the back?
Yeah, in the back, gated in.
Okay, so it was back near the food truck?
Yes.
Okay. And this person who jumped out of the car, I mean, was he a patron?
I don't know. It looked like he was just in the car. He was just in the car there.
Okay.
Came
So
out of nowhere. It's like abandoned cars there, tires like behind the store.
so there were
Behind,
multiple abandoned cars behind the place.
yes,
All right. And so you saw the gun and I think you said you took off running.
yes.
Okay. And where'd you run to?
I ran back inside the building to the front door.
Okay. And then where were you when you were shot?
I was in the front parking lot. They were still fighting from the back to the front.
Was your intention when you got to the parking lot, was your intention to leave?
Yes.
And then what happened in the parking lot?
Truck was stuck and they was fighting. We was trying to round everybody up and get them to the truck, trying to move the truck, and it wouldn't move. Then next thing you know, people started shooting.
And did you feel some type of pain in your body when the shooting happened?
Yeah, I kind of felt the sting on my side.
And was that when you started running?
I hit the ground first. They shot over like 100 some rounds. So as it seemed like the bullets were getting closer, I kind of got scared, took out running.
And how far did you run?
I ran through traffic to the other side of the sidewalk, like a quarter of a mile before I got picked up by a friend.
So when you say the other side of the sidewalk, did you run across a road?
Yes,
Was that Moreland Avenue?
yes,
Okay, and then you said you got picked up by a friend. When
yes.
did you realize you were shot?
As soon as it happened, I felt the sting, but I was so busy trying to recover, get everybody down. I just wasn't thinking about it. But once he picked me up, I told them I thought I was shot. And the female who was in the passenger seat, she checked and made sure. And she seen I was shot. So they was on the way to take me to the hospital, but they took me to the closest gas station.
And who do you know who called the ambulance?
My friend, Leon,
And did the ambulance come to the gas station?
yes.
Did they? Were you in pain at this point, Nicholas?
When I got to the store, we were just basically trying to stop the blood from running. Then after that, my leg was kind of going numb. It went numb after that, so I had to lay down and wait for the ambulance to come.
Nicholas, where did the ambulance take you?
They took me to Grady.
Were you in pain on your way to the hospital?
Yes, they kind of gave me some medicine, and I made a call to my mother and told them what happened. And kind of after they gave me the medicine, I kind of going in and out.
When you got to the hospital, do you remember? Did you see a doctor?
Yes,
Okay. Did they examine you?
yes. They were trying to find a bullet.
Trying to find the hole in your body?
Yeah, they was trying to find a hole for the exit, but they didn't find it. So
Okay. At some point, did the doctor ask your permission to perform surgery on you?
yes, told me he had performed surgery in order for me to live.
And did you consented to that surgery?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Nicholas, tell me about waking up from that surgery, or tell the court about waking up from that surgery.
And when I woke up, I was in shock. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. My stomach was bust open. I had tubes running in and out my mouth and nose. Couldn't move. The pain was excruciating. Heartful. I mean, I was shocked. I was scared.
When did you first have an opportunity to see your wound?
Uh, Maybe a day after the operation, the next day, kind of woke up that afternoon, I think.
And what did you do? Did you pull up your gown and
Yes,
look at your
sir.
stomach?
I kind of opened my gown and kind of felt, and I felt it was kind of open. So I was scared to look at first, but once I looked, it's horrifying, man. I was
Did
scared. I thought that they wasn't done with the surgery.
you thought that they had forgotten to close you up?
Yes, sir.
How long was it before they explained to you what was going on?
Maybe about 30 minutes after I woke up, a nurse came in.
And so what did they tell you about your wound? They tell you they were going to close you up, or what was supposed to happen?
They told me they had performed the operation, and it was a miracle that I was alive. And they told me about the operation, and then they told me I was gonna have to heal from the inside out. Mind you, all this was doing around COVID, so I was definitely scared because of my diabetes and I'm being open.
Was this open wound? Was it painful, Nicholas?
Yes, sir.
Did they explain to you how you were supposed to keep this wound clean?
Yes, sir. She performed it numerous of times, cleaned it out for me because I couldn't do it because of the pain. Maybe like the first week or two, and then as she was going on with it, explained to me how I'm gonna have to do it one day and clean it, and was kind of showing me.
And so, can you tell the court exactly what you have to do to clean your wound?
First, I had to pull the gauze out from the creases of my stomach. Then I had to spray some spray, and then gently wipe it down from the inside, from the creases, all the way down. And then I had to stuff the gauze back in there.
And tell me, what about that is painful?
I mean, it was just painful, period. Just wiping it down, the spray burning, the air in it, the gauze sticking from all the pus and blood, the movement, could barely move.
Did how long did they keep you in the hospital for, Nicholas?
I was in the hospital 4 to 6 weeks.
Did they tell you why they had to keep you that long?
Yes,
And why was that?
they told me I had to have a gastric bypass. I had to.
Was there something you needed to do before they could discharge you?
Yeah, I had to use the bathroom before they could discharge me.
Okay. And how long did it take for you to finally have a bowel movement?
Maybe like 6, 7 weeks. Six, somewhere in there. I think I'm supposed to went home like that after that 6 week, and I had to stay a couple of days over, a week over, something like that.
So, Nicholas, when you were first able to finally have a bowel movement, I mean, were you able to make it to the bathroom?
It was hard to make it to a bathroom. They gave me a walker. Took a lot of strength to walk. Fell a couple of times, but I made it and couldn't use it a couple of times. I had a couple of mistakes.
What do you mean by mistakes, Nicholas?
Used it on myself. Couldn't make it to the bathroom because of the pain.
And when you would have these mistakes, would the nursing staff at the hospital, would they have to come in and clean you?
Yes, sir.
And how would they do that?
Turning me side to side, pulling the pad from underneath me, wiping me.
Was this a humiliating experience? Was this embarrassing, Nicholas?
Yes, sir.
And did it hurt for them to be rolling you over and cleaning you like this?
Yes, I was in extreme pain.
Nicholas, were you able to walk before you were discharged?
Barely. They had to wheel me out in a wheelchair. The walker was there for me to learn to walk, but it was so much pain. It was hard for me to walk.
Had you eaten any solid food before you were discharged?
No, sir.
So what were they giving you for sustenance while you were still in the hospital?
Juice. They were feeding me through a tube. That's all I can remember.
Nicholas, where was home at the time?
Home, I stayed in Austell, Georgia.
Okay. When you were discharged, is that where you went?
Yes, sir.
And how did you get home?
The mother of my kids came and got me.
And is that who you were living with at the time?
Yes, sir.
The mother of your children and your children?
Yes, sir.
Were any preparations made for your arrival at home? Was there anything special that had to be done?
We had to buy a whole new living room set, buy me a recliner chair somewhere I could sleep in because I couldn't lay flat. A certain way I could sleep.
And why couldn't you lay flat?
It would hurt just from scratching my stomach.
And is that recliner, is that where you slept when you got home?
Yes.
And how long did you have to sleep in that recliner?
At least 8 to 10 months.
So it was 8 to 10 months before you felt comfortable sleeping in a bed again?
Yes.
When you first got home, were you able to get out of that chair to go use the bathroom?
No, sir.
So what would you do?
I mean, I had a couple mistakes. But I also had a jug to pee in, to urine in. And
Did you have any nursing help at home when you would have those mistakes?
yes, when the mother of my children were there.
Okay, but you didn't have any professional help.
No, sir.
Okay, so when you would have these mistakes, the mother of your children would be the one that would have to clean you?
Yes.
Was she always home?
No, she worked. I mean, I lost my job, so she worked. Had to keep up with everything for me.
How would you take care of yourself while she was at work?
Sometimes I'd sit in it or I'd just be in pain trying to clean myself.
What do you mean sit in it?
I mean, I'm laying in pain. I have a mistake on myself.
And you'd have to sit there and wait for her to get home from work?
Yes.
Nicholas, were you able to get out of that chair without pain?
No. Not at all.
Nicholas, tell me about what happens when you eat or drink.
I gotta go straight to the bathroom immediately.
Are you not able to, what we say, hold it?
No, I'm not able to hold it at all. Still to this day.
What about your wound, Nicholas? How long did it take for that to fully close?
Maybe a little over a year.
And how frequently would you have to clean it?
Like every 2 to 3 hours.
And you had to do that for how many months?
For 12 months or more, maybe over.
Nicholas, do you have a scar?
Yes.
Okay. Did you take a picture of that scar?
Yes, I think my family member supposed to send you a picture of it, video. something like that.
Nicholas, I'm gonna share my screen with you. I'm gonna show you what I'll call plaintiff's exhibit number 1. Can you see my screen, Nicholas?
Yes,
Okay. And can you tell the court what this is?
it's a picture of my scar.
Okay. Is it a fair and accurate picture of the scar on your stomach following this surgery?
Yes,
Do you know approximately how long after your surgery this was taken?
that was like, I was at home, so maybe after like 4 or 5 months after being home, 6 months.
Nicholas, are you self-conscious about this picture?
Yes,
And I'm going to stop sharing now. Judge, I'm going to tender this into evidence as plaintiff's exhibit number 1.
Will be admitted as plaintiff's 1.
Nicholas, sitting here today, do you still have what you call accidents?
yes, every now and then.
Nicholas, you mentioned earlier that you were working as a maintenance man prior to this incident. Would you still be able to do that job in this condition?
No,
Why not?
because of the mistakes I have. I have to use the bathroom constantly. The problems I have with that.
Nicholas, do you have the option of just not eating while you're at work?
No,
Why not?
because I'm diabetic, so I have to eat.
Nicholas, has your injury impacted your life in any other way? Like, let's say with the mother of your children?
Yes,
And can you tell the court how that is?
I mean, I can't have sex like that no more.
You suffer from impotency now as a consequence of this?
Yes,
Are you and the mother of your children, or the two of you still together?
All right, so thank you for tuning into this video. Like I said again, very, very, very sad case. The owner of the business didn't even show up, man. Listening to this gentleman's testimony, listening to the passionate responses from his lawyer, the man is left with over $200,000 in bills, and the person didn't even show up anymore because she ran out of money. Her attorney didn't show up, and because her attorney didn't show up, she didn't care to show up. This man is left impotent with $200,000 worth of bills, all because he wanted to be out and have fun at a certain time of the morning. Nobody should be subject to that type of harm to themselves, right? Well, put it in the comments. How do you feel about this case? To me, as a man, it's very, very sad because there's no reason why he should be going through what he's going through. But nevertheless, this is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Please like, comment, subscribe. The more people that likes the videos, you telling me that I'm doing something right. Lately, YouTube is not sharing these videos at all. I put out 6 videos today. No video perform. And it's very, very discouraging. So I need to see more likes, more comments, so I can, be motivated to keep pumping out this content. But we'll see you in the next video. Put it in the comments. Tell me if I'm doing something right, I'm doing something wrong. Please let me know, because I need to stay on top of this.